You can lose weight, eat clean, and still have love handles that won't budge. That's because after 40, your body starts storing twice as much fat from the same meal, and most of it goes straight to your waist. In fact, research shows men double and women quadruple their belly fat between their 20s and 60s, even when their weight stays the same. However, once you flip the right metabolic switches that I'm about to show you, that same fat can become some of the first to go. So let's take a look at these 15 simple hacks proven to flatten your waist and get rid of those love handles for good. Number 1. Most people think that their love handles come from eating too much, but it's often because their food is too easy to digest. When you eat heavily processed foods, your body hardly has to work. It absorbs the calories instantly, and most of that energy ends up stored right around your waist. Researchers actually proved this by giving people 2 sandwiches with the same calories. One was made with real cheese and whole grain bread. The other used processed cheese and white bread. The group eating the real food burned almost twice as many calories during digestion. That's called the thermic effect of food. The energy your body spends breaking down what you eat. Whole foods make your metabolism work harder. Processed foods let it slow down. When your metabolism works harder, you don't just burn more calories, you draw more energy from stored fat, including the fat packed around your belly and your sides. So every time you eat, ask yourself, does this meal make my body work, or does it make my body store? The closer your food looks to how it grew, meat, eggs, vegetables, beans, seeds, the more your body has to do to earn it. And that effort is what keeps your love handles from forming in the first place. Number 2, if your goal is to flatten your waist, fiber might be the single most overlooked tool you have. Studies show it doesn't just help you lose weight, it specifically targets the trunk, the area that includes your belly and your lower back, where love handles live. When people increase their daily fiber by just a small amount, 8 grams a day, just an 8-gram increase, they lose an average of 3 to 4 inches off their waist. And they cut belly fat by nearly a third. No change in workouts, no crash diet, just more fiber from real food. Here's why it works. Fiber slows digestion, keeping blood sugar and insulin steady so that your body doesn't switch into fat storage mode. It also feeds the good bacteria in your gut. These microbes turn that fiber into compounds that shut off fat storage genes and turn on fat burning ones. That's why when you start eating foods like beans and lentils and chia and flax and leafy greens, your waistline begins to shrink. Even if your weight on the scale doesn't move right away, you are losing inches. Number 3, when you're under pressure, your body releases cortisol. It's the main stress hormone. It's supposed to give you short bursts of energy to get through a tough moment. But when stress never lets up, cortisol stays high. And when that happens, your body starts storing fat right around your waist. In one experiment, women with higher cortisol levels had 20% more abdominal fat, even when the overall weight was normal. That's because cortisol actually moves fat from other areas of the body to the midsection, and then it keeps it there by raising blood sugar and insulin levels. In order to get your cortisol levels back under control, you have to convince your body that it's safe again. That's what lowers cholesterol back to normal, and it gives your body permission to release the fat it's been holding. Some of the most effective ways to do that include getting good sleep, keeping blood sugar steady by what you eat and increasing fiber, taking magnesium as a supplement, all 7 forms of magnesium in one, so you can support all areas of the body, going on short walks, and there's even one technique that you can do right now to start reversing it. It's called boxed or paced breathing. One of my favorite tools for calming your nervous system. Here's how you can do it. This is boxed. You breathe through your nose for 4 seconds. You hold for 4, and then you exhale through your nose or mouth for 4. And you repeat that for 1 minute. Paced breathing is 5-second deep breaths in, 5-second deep breaths out. Do this 3 times a day, or any time that you feel stress rise, and you are stimulating the calming nervous system of your body. Within a few rounds, your heart rate lowers, your nervous system resets, and your cortisol immediately starts to drop. Number 4, there's no way around it. To lose fat, including your love handles, your body has to use more energy than it takes in. But most people go about it all wrong. They cut calories too hard, they stress out their bodies, and they end up doing the exact opposite of what they want. When calories drop too low, your body senses danger and it starts to defend itself. It can slow your metabolism. It can raise cortisol. It can hold on to fat, especially around your waist. That's why so many people can't get rid of their love handles, no matter how hard or how much they do extreme diets or exercise. A better approach is to put yourself into a moderate deficit and then ease into it and then slowly decrease over time. Start with just 15 to 20% lower than you normally eat. Just control your portions a little bit. The easiest way to do this is to cut out snacking. It significantly lowers that amount of intake of energy each day, and it allows you to burn more off. Longer periods between digesting your meals. It's enough to burn fat without triggering a stress response. You don't have to cut every calorie to get there. Focus on eating whole foods during each of your meals, natural protein, healthy fats, healthy fiber. Those foods naturally reduce your intake because they're filling and they're nutrient dense, unlike some of the processed foods that we'll discuss in just a moment. Number 5, however, if you're eating the right foods, when you eat them can make just as much difference as what you eat. In one trial, adults who finished their meals earlier in the day lost almost 2 inches off their waist in 3 months without eating less or exercising more. That's because your metabolism follows a clock. It's designed to burn energy efficiently during daylight hours, not late at night. When you eat late, your insulin levels stay high while you sleep. And insulin is what tells your body to store fat, especially around your midsection. The solution? Early time-restricted eating, or what I like to call night fasting. It's one of the most powerful ways to flatten your waistline without cutting a single calorie. Here's how to do it. Start with a 10-hour eating window, like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. After a few days, move to an 8-hour window, maybe 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., which means you're done eating at 4 o'clock that day. Eventually, work to a 6 to 7-hour window, where maybe you're only eating between 10 and 4, or even between 8 and 2. That simple shift gives your body a true overnight fast, a lot of time to digest food, especially at the end of the day when we are less active. It can raise growth hormone by 200 to 300%, which helps you burn fat while preserving muscle and turns your sleep hours into fat burning hours. Now, if you're a night worker, you might want to check out my night worker game plan for burning off belly fat. If you are working throughout the evening or have a different swing schedule than everybody else, to help you accomplish that just the same way. I'll post that video below. 6. Next, if you want to shrink your waist, protein is your best friend. In one 6-month study, people who simply ate 40 more grams of protein per day lost 25% more belly fat, and it trimmed an extra inch off their waist, even though their calories were exactly the same. That's the metabolic magic of protein. It changes what kind of weight you lose, fat instead of muscle, and where you lose it first, right off your midsection. Protein also has the highest thermic effect of any food. Your body burns 20 to 30% of calories in protein just digesting it. So for comparison, carbs burn about 5 to 10%, and fat burns almost none. So if you eat 400 calories of protein, roughly 120 calories disappear automatically just from digestion. That's energy that won't turn into fat on your belly or on your sides. It also protects muscle while you lose fat. And muscle is the key because it keeps your metabolism running high. More muscle means more daily calorie burn, even when you're resting. And protein also fills you up. So it lowers ghrelin, that little gremlin hormone that tells you eat. And protein raises the hormones that makes you feel more full. Despite the myths, research show no harm to healthy kidneys or the liver when you eat a high protein diet. Just better metabolism and a smaller waistline. So if your goal is to tighten your midsection and lose those love handles, start making protein the center of every meal. Next, number 7, a slice of white bread doesn't just add calories. It triggers a reaction that puts fat right where you don't want it, around your waist. Refined carbs, things like bread, pasta, cereal, sugar, are digested almost instantly. That floods your bloodstream with glucose and it spikes your insulin levels. When insulin stays high, your body stops burning fat and starts storing it, mostly in the belly and lower back. Researchers have even measured it. A diet heavy in refined carbs adds about 11 cubic inches of fat around the midsection, compared to eating the same calories from full unprocessed foods. But when you swap those refined carbs for fiber-rich, slow-digesting foods like lentils or quinoa or oats or vegetables, your blood sugar stays stable and your body gets a steady energy supply that keeps insulin low enough for fat to move out of storage. And love handles finally start to flatten. You don't need to eliminate carbohydrates completely. Just cut the ones that come in boxes and bags and get them from food that grew from the ground. Number 8, if you've been spending a half an hour jogging or doing an elliptical or some kind of cardio to burn fat, you're doing one of the least effective effective workouts for your waistline. That's because long, steady cardio burns calories in the moment, but it also works against you by breaking down muscle, slowing metabolism, even raising your cortisol levels. On the other hand, a high-intensity interval training, a HIIT training, does the exact opposite. It uses short bursts of effort to activate the hormones that tell your body to release fat instead of storing it. Just 10 minutes of HIIT can match the fat loss of 45 minutes of cardio, and it burns 20% more belly fat in the process. Here's why. A short HIIT session can trigger 1,600% spike in growth hormone, which protects muscle and ramps up fat metabolism for hours. HIIT also releases 5 to 10 times more adrenaline than regular cardio. And your belly fat has more adrenaline-sensitive receptors than any other area of your body. So when adrenaline floods your system, the first fat to go is the same fat sitting around your waist. Now, one of the coolest things about HIIT workouts is that you don't need a gym to do them. If you want to try it for yourself, here's how I recommend getting started. Pick 3 full body movements, things like squats, push-ups, planks, lunges, mountain climbers, jumping jacks. Modify them if you need to. Use a wall, use a chair, shorten the range of motion. Work out for 50 seconds. Do one as fast as you can, and then take a 10-second break. Then move to the second exercise. Repeat, 50 seconds on, 10-second break. Then move to the third exercise, 50 seconds on, 10-second break. Break for an additional 30 seconds at the end of that, and then repeat for 2 more rounds, just the same. It's a 9-minute and 50-second workout, 10 minutes in total, let's call it, and you're done for the day. These are the exact workouts that I offer in my members program. There's hundreds of them available on my website. If you'd like to try one, I'll include a link in the description below to a downloadable guide with 5 free workouts. Grab yourself a copy of that. Give it a try. Number 9, next. Most people still think eating fat makes you fat, but the right fats do the opposite. They actually help you burn it. When you eat healthy fats, especially omega-3s, your body becomes better at using fat for fuel instead of storing it. That's called fat adaptation. Studies show that people who add omega-3s to a balanced diet lose up to 30% more fat around their waist than those that don't. Here's why it works so well in the handles. Omega-3s calm inflammation. They improve your insulin sensitivity, and they actually tell your fat cells to shrink. They also help balance cortisol so that your body can finally let fat go. Healthy fats come mostly from cold water fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel. You can also get them from chia seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts. A clean fish oil supplement also works very well. Just make sure it's third-party tested and it's free of contaminant. If you're looking for a safe one, I'll put a link to mine in the description below. Number 10, if you're doing everything we talked about so far, but your waistline still hasn't changed, look at how much sleep you're getting. Research shows that people who sleep 6 hours or less add about 10% more fat inside the belly, even when they don't eat more. That's because poor sleep disrupts your hormones overnight. When you don't sleep enough, cortisol stays high the next day, and your body keeps blood sugar elevated to stay alert. That combination shuts down fat burning, and it keeps energy stored around the waist. Lack of sleep also dulls the part of your brain that controls hunger, so you cave more quickly to carbs and snacks the next day, feeding the same fat that you're trying to lose. So if you want to avoid that and start improving your sleep, go to bed and wake up at the same time, even on weekends. Keep your room dark, cool, and quiet, and avoid screens and heavy meals before bed so that your body can drop into deep sleep faster. Number 11, if you're serious about banishing your love handles, you gotta cut back on drinking. Here's why. When you have alcohol in your system, your body stops burning fat immediately. It can't process alcohol and fat at the same time. So everything you eat while drinking gets stored, and it tends to settle right around your waistline and love handles. That's why people who drink regularly often notice that belly fat area grows first. Those are the spots most sensitive to insulin and cortisol, and alcohol raises both of them. Also, it lowers testosterone and it slows muscle repair, which weakens your metabolism over time, and it makes it easy for fat to stick to the midsection. Even small amounts can stall your progress. The so-called light drinks still keep your body in storage mode long after the buzz wears off. Here's the good news. If you stop drinking for just 30 days, your liver cleans out, your hormones rebalance, and your metabolism starts burning fat again. Number 12, I have one more big habit that you can change to shrink your love handles, but before we get there, let's talk about some supplements that can help slim down your waist, starting with berberine. If you've cleaned up your diet, but those love handles still won't move, insulin's probably running the show, and that means your body's still in storage mode, but berberine flips that switch. It activates a pathway in your cells called AMPK, which does the opposite of insulin. It tells your body to start burning fat for fuel. That shift alone can make your metabolism behave like it's been reset. In studies, berberine has cut cut belly and trunk fat by 10 to 15% within just a few months. And once that deeper fat starts to burn off, the outer layer that you can pinch, the love handles, begin to flatten too. Next, number 13, another common obstacle to getting rid of love handles is inflammation. When it builds up in the body, it blocks the hormones that tells your body to burn fat. It also makes your fat cells more insulin resistant, so they hang on to stored energy instead of releasing it. But turmeric, specifically its active compound called curcumin, can help reverse that process. Curcumin works by calming the same inflammatory pathways that keep your metabolism stuck. And at the same time, it also boosts AMPK, just like berberine does. In a 12-week clinical study, people taking curcumin trimmed an average of 3.5 centimeters off of their waist without changing anything else. Just remember, curcumin is poorly absorbed on its own, so you can increase its absorption by over 40 times more by taking it in an emulsified form. Now, remember that omega fish oils that I said I would put in the description? It actually also contains emulsified turmeric, which is 40 times plus more absorbable. You can check that out in the description below if you need one that you can trust. Now, number 14, for one of my favorite supplements to help with the waistline, moringa. Moringa is called the miracle tree for a reason. It supports fat metabolism, balances mood, blood sugar, helps your body use stored energy instead of keeping it. In clinical studies, people using a moringa blend lost up to 6 times more weight than people in the placebo group, and it trims several inches off their waist, even without major diet changes. That's why I use it myself on a daily basis, and I built a Livingood Daily Moringa with 1,000 milligrams of pure organic moringa leaf powder, no fillers, no junk. It's grown clean, nutrient-rich soil, lab-tested, because I wanted the same quality for my wife and for myself as we take it every day to support our metabolisms and to support our waistline health. And if you're a coffee drinker, I actually add it to my Livingood Daily Coffee. It's organic shade-grown, low-acid coffee with the beans have blended in moringa for an extra fat-burning boost in every cup. So it doesn't change the flavor of the coffee. It just supercharges the metabolism while you're enjoying your morning caffeine fix. So I'll include a link to those below as well if you want to check them out. Finally, number 15, if you want one of the simplest ways to flatten your waistline, start walking the right way. In a 12-week study, women who walked regularly cut both belly and subcutaneous fat, including the fat stored around their sides and their lower back, the love handles. That's because walking lowers insulin and cortisol at the same time, two of the biggest drivers of love handles. Now, you don't have to go fast or far. Even moderate, consistent walking tells your body to draw energy from stored fat instead of storing more. Over time, that combination of lowering stress, better blood sugar, and higher fat oxidation literally reshapes your midsection. But here's the part people miss. How you walk makes all the difference. Small tweaks when you walk, your pace of your walking, the terrain that you choose can multiply your fat burning without adding any time or effort. And I break all that down in my next video. 8 walking hacks that melt belly fat fast. Inside, you will learn the exact timing that burns the most fat after meals, how to walk in a way that wakes up your metabolism for up to 48 hours afterward, and the one trick that can double your calorie burn without walking a single step further. If you're serious about shrinking your love handles and turning your daily walk into a full body fat burning tool, click here to watch that video next, and I'll show you how to make every step work harder for you. See you there.